How does a public servant in Jamaica go from a humble $350,000 in net worth to over $160 million? And why are two senior investigators risking it all to challenge the most powerful man in the country? By the end of this video, you'll understand why the Holness versus Integrity Commission war isn't just about numbers. It's about power, politics, and possibly prosecution. Yes, prosecution. And why some say Holness may be running out of time. Stick around, because what you're about to hear has never been laid out like this before. PM's legal fight exposes decades of financial gaps and ghost filings. The rise. In 1998, Andrew Holness's net worth was a modest $350,473.66. Fast forward 21 years, and that figure skyrocketed to nearly $160 million. What happened in between? Failed investments in Olint and Cash Plus, undeclared businesses like taxi companies and loan firms, multiple real estate acquisitions, a mysterious holding company, Imperium Holdings Limited. But it wasn't just about money, it was about timing. Why did Holness's biggest financial jumps align with key election cycles? Let's be real. If a prime minister can't properly explain how he went from $350,000 to $160 million, should he still be leading the country? Comment yes or no in the comments below. The investigation. Behind the scenes, Craig Beresford, Director of Information and Complaints, and Kevon Stephenson, Director of Investigations, were digging. In 2019, Joy Powell flagged substantial gaps in Holness's filings, especially from 2009 to 2012, where his wealth jumped by over $76.5 million. And yet, Holness responded late, or not at all. Letters went unanswered. Data was incomplete. Financial journals came years later. Then came the 2021 filing, and that's when things exploded. Imagine if this level of financial mystery was linked to a PNP politician. Would JLP supporters be this quiet? Is this a double standard or political persecution? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. The legal war. In a dramatic twist, Holness sued the very watchdog investigating him. He handed that at least 12 paragraphs from Beresford's affidavit be struck out, calling them scandalous, vexatious, and abusive. But why would a prime minister go to court to erase records of his own past filings? The Supreme Court disagreed, ruling most of the affidavit stays, but also ordered the IC to disclose internal documents if they even exist. Holness is playing high-stakes legal poker, and so far, the Integrity Commission ain't folding. But wait, where did the millions actually come from? Quick poll. What should happen next? A. Full public forensic audit. B. Step down until probe complete. C. Nothing. This is a witch hunt. Vote by reply with A, B, or C in the comments below. The missing links. Third-party checks revealed over $470 million in transactions linked to Holness and his companies, Imperium Holdings Limited, Positive Jamaica Foundation, and Positive Media Solutions. Transfers from Green Emerald Trading Limited raised eyebrows. Imperium's financials deemed non-compliant with international reporting standards. The account referred to Jamaica's Public Accountancy Board. Yet Holness insists he was never told there was issues with the source of funds. But IC investigators say, "Sir, we literally sent you the receipts." So who's lying? Or who's forgetting what was said in the room? Wait, 470 million in questionable transactions, and he's still not explaining the source of funds? If this was any other Jamaican, them woulda get locked up already. Do you think Holness is being protected or unfairly targeted? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. The fallout. Now, with elections looming and the case on pause pending appeal, the question is no longer did Holness make money, but rather did the money make Holness untouchable? The Integrity Commission wants answers. Holness wants immunity, and Jamaica just wants the truth. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Holness's net worth jumped from $350,000 in 1998 to $160 million in 2019. Red flags across 1998 to 2016 statutory filings. 2021 declaration triggered full-blown IC investigation. Holness sued the IC to strike parts of the report. Over 470 million in linked transactions still under scrutiny. IC referred matter to FID, Fraud Squad, and Public Watchdogs. Political timing raises questions about intent, optics, and accountability. We are only scratching the surface of this financial trail. What's your theory on where the money really came from? Drop your wildest but plausible theory in the comments below. The best ones gets pinned next. If you believe transparency should matter no matter the office held, hit that like button. Drop a comment. Should Holness publicly account for every dollar, or should the case be left alone? And if you want more political bombshells that Jamaica mainstream media won't dare touch, subscribe now. More stories are coming. The ghost filings past are here, and October's judicial review may be just the beginning. Me there, and me can't believe my eyes. Again, Andrew Holness playing peekaboo with the Integrity Commission like it's a game show. The man really gone to court to try wipe out the investigation report. Bro, this no look good at all. For your government will say they stand for transparency, and where the transparency gone? So let me get this straight. You form a charity, Positive Jamaica Foundation, but every road leads right back to Imperium Holdings, which lead back to you, which lead back to a shell company, which sign contracts with your own ministry. Me no say scam, but me say it look mad suspicious. And now the JLP about smear campaign and political bias. But when the PNP slip up, you no quick fi call them corrupt. You no can't eat cake and dodge tax same time. Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Not no go so. Level the playing field or go on with the hypocrisy. Cause we not go stand feet. pay double standards the JLP them roll out with. No sir, them a people here run politics like a Ponzi scheme. You see me? On top of a church, on top of charity donations. That no sound, that no look good. Shell company, charity fronts, government contracts, court case, and still no accountability. Jamaica wake up. This bigger than orange or green. This is a full-blown political theater with a twist of tax evasion. Yes, tax evasion. Man, I make over $400 million and no tax na pay. Man, I file nil tax returns and I make hundreds of millions of dollars. And me and you, the small man, the regular average Jamaican, we then come pressure for tax. So it show you say the rich and the elite, the so-called powerful in society, them no pay no tax. Because the PM did a file nil tax return. With his companies, we make millions and hundreds of millions in transactions. Make that make sense. And then you want to come pressure we, so a poor people, you know pressure to pay the bulk of the taxes. Meanwhile, you know evade paying tax. Oh, so you know really run politics like a political Ponzi scheme, you know. You see me? Yes, on top of charity donations. We watch Wagwan. We are pre and see everything. No say 40. And you think this bad? Wait till you hear which cabinet member name just drop in the next financial declaration bombshell. The whole thing unfold like Netflix. But real people, they suffer. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's income and assets were under scrutiny by anti-corruption authorities from at least 2017 as investigators questioned the source of funds behind his net worth, which rose from $350,000 in 1998 to almost $160 million in 2019, court documents revealed. So when this Prime Minister come out and talk about prosperity and progress, and himself him talk about, and himself him address. You see me? So if you want buy into it and feel like say, oh, yeah man, it's prosperity for all Jamaican, you're dead wrong. You're sadly mistaken because first of all, the Jamaica Labour Party mandate is that of a capitalist party. They believe in capitalism, meaning their job is to create a economic environment for rich people get richer. You see me? And as you can see here, people within the Labour Party were enriching themselves at the same time. Compare and contrast that to the PNP. The PNP is a socialist party. You see me? Yes, the PNP practice democratic socialism. The PNP party is the party that is actually for the people, by the people. Two different mandates, two different political parties. A lot of people, a lot of laborites don't even know the difference. So when the PM talk about prosperity and growth and wealth, and yourself him talk about, don't be so simple-minded, don't be so fool, don't make it go over your head. Thank God for the Integrity Commission. Thank God for the Jamaica Gleaner. You see, PM Holness, you see, if you never sue the IC and take them to court, this would have never happened, you know. Everything we are releasing and come out now about you, all of these personal information, we would have never know about if you never sue them and take them to court. All of it would have stayed private. So this is a self-inflicted wound done by you on yourself. Don't blame the Integrity Commission. Details including Holness's investments in failed unregulated schemes such as Olint and Cash Plus are among the material that Holness unsuccessfully tried to have struck from an affidavit in a judicial review case he brought against the Integrity Commission and two of its senior officials, Craig Beresford, Director of Information and Complaints, and Kevon Stephenson, Director of Investigation. Yes, Holness. The judge now gonna make you strike out the fact say you did invest in Olint and Cash Plus, which are unregulated Ponzi pyramid schemes, and allegedly you pull out all of your money before they collapse. You see me? Not to mention say the same thing happened with SSL. You see me? Yeah man, you pull out all of your money before time. Before all of them collapse and go under. But speaking of SSL, you realize from Bolt turn tourism ambassador for Jamaica, Bartlett them give him big position, them basically compensate him and shut him up. You realize Bolt not talk about SSL, and when he more get back his money again, you realize what happened after he get that tourism ambassadorship from the Holness administration through Edmund Bartlett. Remember, you know, Holness's lawsuit seeks to challenge the Commission's inconclusive investigation into alleged illicit enrichment arising from his 2021 income declaration, which remains uncertified. So Holness and 3 affiliated entities, Imperium Holdings Limited, Positive Media Solutions, and the Positive Jamaica Foundation are the claimants. And we already proved Positive Jamaica Foundation is not really a non-profit organization, even though on paper it is that. Because when you look on the front page of the Craig Beresford 108-page Integrity Commission affidavit, we clearly see Positive Jamaica Foundation listed as a limited liability company. So apparently it has the name foundation, but it's not actually a foundation. Me don't know why him call it a foundation. So keynote and pay attention to that. Drop me a comment with your parish or diaspora city and tell me who you trust more, Holness, Mark Golding, or none of them. Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. According to Beresford, then Acting Director of Information and Complaints, Joy Powell, had in January 2019 referred her findings on Holness's statutory declarations to the IC for further action. This led to the initiation of an investigation and subsequent report on Holness's declarations. In a January 2019 letter to the Integrity Commission, Powell flagged red flag, red flag, red flag, flag him. Significant concerns about Holness's declarations between 1998 and 2016. She noted that while his assets increased substantially over the years and especially over the period 2009 to 2012, several issues required further investigations/clarification. Powell said letters were sent to Holness seeking clarity, but the responses received were not sufficient to adequately satisfy the concerns that were raised. So you see how long this man a go on with himself with the Integrity Commission? You see how long? She added that under the new Integrity Commission structure in 2018, Holness was again asked to respond to unanswered queries by June of that year. But despite a request for and receiving an extension to October 15, 2018, there were no responses at the time when she wrote the letter. A man even respond. A man get a letter and just she lucky, leave no respond to the letter. She can go on. I saw him and I go on and I deal with Joy Powell, you know. You see me? The then Director of Information and Complaints, you know. So his attitude towards the Integrity Commission has never been one of, you know, no great cooperation or compliance. This man is something else. But no worry yourself, PM Holness. Time come. You see me? Yes, time come. Time come for you come down now. So keynote and pay attention to that. So the specific timeline where you see Joy Powell did a highlight from 2009 to 2012 is significant, and me I go show you, because this is highlighting that the PM wealth increased exponentially when the Labour Party government is in power. Remember, you know, from 2007, the JLP won that general election, you know, with Bruce Golding sworn in as Prime Minister. And 2007, PM Holness was the Education Minister. So the JLP remained in power until 2011 general election, which was won by the People's National Party, PNP. And then in 2016, the JLP won back the election again. And if you notice and follow the pattern, every time the JLP is in power, the Prime Minister's wealth just skyrockets through the roof. This is what the Integrity Commission reports and affidavit is exposing and showing. Holness was closely monitored. Powell and then Acting Director of Investigations David Gray also submitted a report on Holness's income filings. They stated, among other things, that changes in Holness's net worth over the years were closely monitored. They said a special investigation into Holness's declaration for 2005 to 2016 was conducted by an external investigator after officials observed an inordinate increase in wealth. Holness disclosed multiple businesses, investments, and personal loans, including taxi operations, a finance company, and deposits in failed unregulated investment schemes, Cash Plus and Olint, that he said generated millions in income between 1998 and 2011. The commission noted that Holness explained that 3 of the ventures, 2 taxi operations and a loan company, were to support his constituency activities and were not declared as they were not considered a part of his asset base. Now pause right there. So no one in their right mind would actually believe say you are going to establish your personal business to support your constituency activities. Remember, every year politicians get like $20 million constituency funding, courtesy of taxpayers' dollars. So now you want me to believe say you use your company them, you see me, to support constituency activities, your personal private businesses. That don't make no sense, cause me don't do that. I mean I get $20 million in a constituency fund from the government, courtesy of taxpayers, fee spend in a my constituency. Make that make sense, cause the math is not adding. Just now add up. Vague answers again. What do you mean the 2 taxi operation and a loan company was to support your constituency activities? What specific constituency activities are we talking about? We need detailed information. We don't need no vague answer. We need specificity. What you talk about? Source of funding for real estate. We have no choice but to reject that opinion, as reliance is being sought on the income earned and assets at the disposal of the entities. These assets have either been sold or made further investments in an effort to substantiate assets now in his possession, wrote Powell and Gray. They also had questions about the source of funding for several pieces of real estate. They concluded the Holness's submissions revealed several omissions related to declared income, company ownership, alternative investments, and personal loans, and those gaps affected statutory declarations spanning 1998 to 2016, including some years for which Holness's filings were cleared. Beresford said when the current Director of Investigation took office in 2020, the issues remained unresolved, prompting a request for an updated financial analysis. In June 2021, an updated analysis was submitted, and it showed that Holness's net worth had increased from $350,473.66 in June 1998 to $159,949,089 in December 2019. A note in the analysis said Holness's net worth increased by approximately $76.5 million between 2006 and 2009, including $23.7 million in 2006 attributed to an Olint investment. It stated that there was no evidence of source of funds used for that investment. This man can never provide where the source of funds come from, never. Another $48.5 million increase occurred between 2016 and 2019. Beresford said that while reviewing Holness's 2020 statutory declaration, it was discovered that he failed to disclose his directorship and shareholdings in Imperium, later confirmed as a holding company for his assets following the closure of St. Lucia Incorporated ADMAT. He said he also asked Holness to submit financial statements for ADMAT. Holness complied, and Beresford said the 2019 and 2020 declarations were certified and published in December 2021. So between 2019 and 2020, he gets certified. Noted. The IC began examining Holness's 2021 declarations in August 2022. Beresford said third-party verification checks revealed possible non-disclosures, including some irregularities with an account at First Global Bank. Beresford affidavit also revealed concerns about Imperium's financial statements, which were deemed not in keeping with international financial reporting standards. Beresford said the account was referred to the Public Accountancy Board and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica for having represented that they were so prepared. In a report released last September, Director of Investigation Kevon Stephenson flagged alleged discrepancies in Holness's 2021 filings and transactions exceeding $470 million linked to companies associated with him. Stephenson said he could not conclude on illicit enrichment because Holness refused to provide the requested information on his expenses. So I guess the reason why, and this is allegedly, the PM doesn't want to provide the information on his expenses that was requested by Kevon Stephenson, more than likely it will link him on time to illicit enrichment, and there he can be charged and prosecuted. So that's why him not comply with the handing over of his expenses. So now we could tie it back to the financial investigation and why Dennis Strong was appointed. Again, the IC referred the matter to the Financial Investigations Division, whose June appointment of Chartered Accountant Dennis Strong as head sparked controversy. Strong's qualifications and public comments casting doubt on aspects of the probe were criticized by civil society groups and the parliamentary opposition. So the reason the IC referred the matter to the Financial Investigation Division is because Stephenson requested information on his expenses and him never comply. You see me? So them hand over the case to the FID, so them can dig further and get the information on his expenses about that $470 million were linked to Holness companies. So we did all see how Dennis Strong was strategically placed and put as a puppet, as a figurehead at the FID as Chief Technical Director. So this is the reason why.